Hey, I'm Dave. Welcome to my shop. And speaking of my shop, I thought I would take a few minutes today to give you a little tour behind the scenes of where I film the episodes and the computer museum and the PDP-11 and the shop and so on. So without further rigmarole, let's have a look. Okay, this is where the magic happens, my main workstation, which is a Samsung monitor with a KVM that connects to a Mac and a PC Threadripper. The PC features a VFD display I designed that has the CPU and GPU speeds and loads, and on top of the machine we have a mesmerizer running the Dave's Garage subscriber counter. Click subscribe now and see if it changes. Oh wait, this video is not live, is it? Well, it'll change while I'm watching, I assure you. Back on the desktop I have what I believe is a Corsair K70 RGB gaming keyboard. Thunderbolt audio from the Mac and SPDIF optical from the PC are combined by the Apollo Twin and shipped to the spectrum analyzer and equalizer you see above my keyboard. Here we see another mesmerizer running a circuit trace effect, and above that we'll find the Atmos recorder that I actually record on, and you can see me there if you're really clever. The small monitor on top is actually my teleprompter. There's a flat plane horizontal backwards display and then a angled mirror that it sits in front of the camera, and the camera is behind and looks like the monitor. So you look into the display and you're looking into the camera. Also visible here are a number of my other RGB and neon projects, including the spiral lamp, which I will debut and give you an Amazon recipe for in an upcoming episode. Up on the ceiling we have the flame effect from my very first episode, Help My Shop is on Fire with LEDs. We also see a bunch of my patents and favorite license plates from my 1969 Pontiac. As I pan around the shop, you'll notice a great number of LEDs, primarily in primary colors, and I got a sense that that's probably something to do with my autism and a sensory sensitivity issue on the basic color palette, because there's sure a lot of it. And if I flip the view around 180, you'll see the windows in front of which I normally record each episode. What you don't get to see, because it's normally blown out with a beautiful amount of bokeh or bokeh, whichever you prefer, is my little bonsai tree, which I occasionally tend to and mostly just look at. It has a little display that it's running nightdriverled.com, and it has stats about how the buffer is doing. And behind that, if we look a little closer, an electronic quarterback, still in the original box, which I'll probably try to make an episode out of if I can think of somehow. Up here we have a PDP 1170, very similar to the real 1170 we'll see on the other side. And on top of the PDP-11, we've got Bigfoot, along with Oscar Goldman in his original jacket. Awesome coloring. And he's got his little suitcase. And of course, we've got Steve Austin and Jamie Summers, the Bionic Woman, both of the original action figures here. Over on the other counter, we've got more space-related stuff, the Atomic Tiki Fire Lamp, a cool decorative rocket, and the Daft Punk helmet that'll also be in an upcoming episode if you're subscribed to the channel. And if we head over this way, we can get to what amounts to my little PC museum. I don't have that big of a collection, but what I do have all works and runs and actually does things. So I pride myself on keeping things actually working instead of just having a collection of old boxes. Here we can see a Kim 1 stack that boots up and runs graphics and text, as well as an MSI 8080, a PDP 1123 running RSX 11M, a PDP 1170 running BSD. Here we have a Neon Amber PET, as well as an 8250 dual drive, a 2031 single drive, and the ultra-rare Commodore D9090 hard drive. Down on the table here, we've got a keyboard I just made that features all Cherry MX switches and adapters to the to the PET's keyboard, and I just need to make a mounting plate for it, but it's pretty satisfying, so it works pretty well. Up here, we've got an Apple II running the Oregon Trail, and then we've got another PET running Space Invaders. But where's Space Invaders? There we go. Space Invaders is up and running on the Amber PET. There's my old plasma TV running a neon sign. And over here we've got an Altair 8800 and it's running CP/M. Next to that we've got an IBM PCXT running something I worked on, MS-DOS 6.2. Something I also worked on, Windows 95. It also dual boots something else I worked on, Windows NT, thanks to this IBM 95 down there under the desk. Next to that, we've got an Atari Tempest machine, still featuring the high score of the game's author, Dave Thurer. We've got an LCD arcade machine that's not running currently, and then the CRT-based version, which is working just fine and currently running Galaga. This is my biggest acquisition and my latest acquisition. It's a PDP 1134, and I'm trying to get it up and running. So far, I've got it running far enough to run diagnostics and things on the CPU and memory board, so that's all working. The drives are putting up a bit of a fight, but As you can see, it takes probably a dozen cards here to make up a basic system once you get the disk controller, which is 4 cards, and the CPU, which is 2 cards, and so on and so forth. Then we have 2 fixed drives and 1 removable big cartridge drive. Here you can see me running a read test, and the fault light coming on is it fails to read every sector on the disk. So I'm not sure where I'm at with it, but stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to find out how the 1134 boots and survives. And finally, on top of the stack for the 1134, we have a removable cartridge drive here where I can pull the entire deck pack right out. A massive 2.4 megabytes of storage in one hand. Can you believe it? Thanks for joining me out here in the shop today. If you have any interest in matters related to autism or ASD, please check out the free sample of my book on Amazon, Secrets of the Autistic Millionaire, or the follow-up book, The Non-Visible Part of the Autism Spectrum. The first book is intended for people that have autism, and the second book is for people that don't have autism, but who may share some characteristics of being on the spectrum. Either way, you can check them out on Amazon, and a link in the video description, and I thank you for taking a look. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you give it a look. Consider subscribing, and if you are subscribed, thank you very much. In the meantime and in between time, hope to see you next time, right here in Dave's Garage.